I think there's a lot of conversations around AI displacing humans. I'm less focused on that, candidly. I am more focused about what novel modalities and things that don't exist today, not from the perspective of necessarily work disruption, but just like what are the new things that robotics is going to power? And it's very exciting to think about.
Alex Iskold is a world-class entrepreneur and venture capitalist.
He has founded 5 startups
and invested in 150 plus others.
We are looking for off-the-charts, exceptional, as we call them, ultra-competitive founders that just have exceptional ambition. And then obviously we're also looking for...
In this episode, I'm speaking with entrepreneur and investor Alex Iskold. Make sure you click the subscribe or follow button, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Alex, you're the founder of 2048 Ventures. What do you look for when you're deciding to invest in a startup?
I mean, as everything good in life, it's complicated. There's multiple kind of vectors, but first and foremost, we are looking for off-the-charts, exceptional, as we call them, ultra-competitive founders that just have exceptional ambition and stamina to go through. We look for complete teams. We look for founders that have strong founder market fit. And then obviously we're also looking for opportunities and markets that can bear venture scale outcomes. We look for spaces that, call them forward-looking and growing markets.
Okay, love it. So it has to have a great TAM. It has to be directionally correct to be able to return the fund in that type of market. You need people that are super ambitious, and you need that complete team to go along with it. Let me just pull out a few of those threads there. So when you say you need people that are like super ambitious founders, how do you know? Because you've got a pitch deck, you've got like 2 meetings before you have to make a decision. Like, how do you know if this is the right person before you decide to give them money?
It's really hard, right? Like you said, like we have very compressed time. We do deals in 10 to 15 business days. We spend an extraordinary amount of time trying to understand psychology and motivations of the team. So we have a bunch of questions that we ask them. But we found that, for example, an attribute of ultra competitiveness that you can measure through, are they competitive athletes? What are they competitive outside of work at? Or maybe an unexpected one, we find that people who are close siblings or identical twins are ultra competitive because they just used to compete since childhood. There's lots of clues. You can never know 100% anything because it's a very compressed time period, but we try to tease it out, and then we never invest without meeting them in person. So we pay for the founders to fly to see us, or we fly to see them, or if they're in New York and Boston, we come and see them. But it's hard, but we try our best to really make sure that the team we're betting on, will go all the way.
Okay, amazing. You used the word complete team a moment ago. When I'm angel investing, I'm always looking for a complete team, somebody that can do sales, marketing, customers, investors, somebody that can do product and design and testing and deployment, and then ideally somebody with some domain or operational knowledge is a nice bonus as well, but not a deal breaker. Are you looking at this through a similar lens? You want someone building, you want someone selling? Like, what's your view on what a complete team looks like at like a pre-seed or a seed stage?
Yeah, Alfie, pretty similar to yours. Maybe, we also do a lot of biotech, and there we wouldn't look for CTO, but we would look for CSO, somebody who really knows the science and who originated the science. I think the nuance is like, what's the origin story, and why do people come together? I'll share this anecdote. Recently, I was giving a talk and to a cohort of startups, and there were 3 startups that were husband and wife teams, and they may be perfect complement to each other, but the question is, are they together because they're husband and wife, or are they truly complementary? And so again, I've funded many couples. Some of them have done phenomenally well. The question truly is, why do 2 people come together? And so what we really want to see is longevity of the relationship, trust. Are they battle tested? Have they worked together before, or did they, founders say like, look, we just met 10 minutes ago on Y Combinator dating site. And like, listen, this is amusing, but it's difficult to underwrite because startups are so hard. You're going to fight. So complementarity has different faucets. You highlighted a perfect one, which is just like complementarity of technical skills, but related is why are they together and how strong is the bond?
Yeah, I've spent the past week, so demo day at YC was the other day, and I've been to a YC after party for the past 3 days in a row now, I think. And the amount of people I've had conversations with, and they met like a few weeks before the program started or something, it's quite scary because like when you're, especially if it's your first time building a company, it's so hard that nobody knows what they're getting into until they actually do it. It's kind of like I got two like little kids. I got a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. Now you know, my wife did 99% of the work there. Like I'm not going to try and take credit for it, but it's having kids is so much harder than anybody possibly could imagine until you actually are there. And having a startup in many respects is somewhat similar in that it's you know, your baby. Like you built this from 0 to 1, right? So the idea that two people that don't know each other are going to go through that journey together and experience all those pains and all those extreme challenges and still survive, it's like wishful thinking a lot of the time. It's a lot better, in my personal opinion, to work with people that you've worked with before, that you know and that you like and that you trust and you've been through the hard times. Because you know that if there's a huge argument, you're not going to let it ruin the startup just because of a small disagreement.
100%. You know, the challenge of investing, though, is that there will be one out of N of those couples that just met, of those founders that just met 10 seconds ago, and they're going to build something huge, and then you're going to FOMO because you missed it. And so one of the things that we practice at our firm is we try to be judgment-free, right? So like, obviously, there's concerns and flags and kind of, we all have biases. Like I reject the notion that like you can be fully unbiased as a human. Biases is what make us human. But you want to check your biases and make sure that, you know, you're not detrimenting your picking. But it is difficult, and like you said, historically, founders that haven't really worked together, it's really hard to go through the whole journey. I'll just add, like, especially when things don't work well. So the thing is that when things are going great, everybody's excited, everybody's rowing in the same direction. But as soon as things are not working, that's when you truly see sort of the breakup and the difficulties.
Mhm. You mentioned founder market fit a moment ago. Like, how important is this for you? Like, would you only invest in a founder who had worked in that domain before and really understands the problem space, or if they've just ideated on the idea maze enough and spoken to enough users, do you think that's enough? Like, what's your view on like where you draw the line as to what founder market fit looks like?
Yeah, no, vast majority of our investments, I would say 90% have strongest possible founder market fit because we invest in B2B technologies and you know, systems of record. It's very difficult for you to enter complex spaces like healthcare, fintech, deep tech categories, maybe bio. How would you possibly start a cancer cure company if you have no science background? Now, the example I like to give people is the struggle of starting something right out of school. When you graduate college, you know, you don't really know. Sure, Zuckerberg started Facebook. You don't really need founder market fit. But if you're doing something in the B2B space, you really need experience. And we really love the founders who live the problem. Now, we also love the founders who've researched the problem. So the question is, when are we finding them? So if someone doesn't have founder market fit, but has spent, you know, a couple years or, you know, a year really researching and then can show traction, I think that reduces the burden of founder market fit. So for us is, if it's a day zero, I want to see founder market fit. But if it's already in motion, if there's referenceable customers, then I kind of feel like they earned it.
Yes, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, you've gone through this journey yourself. Like, you've been a 5 times founder. You've sold companies to IBM. So, like, what advice would you be giving to an early stage founder that's listening to this? You know, they want to build a company just like you did. They're maybe just getting started. They're working on the idea. Maybe they've just raised a pre-seed. Like if there's someone in that like very early stage of the journey, what advice would you be giving them? What do you wish you knew when you were starting out?
I mean, I would just say entrepreneurship is so difficult and startups are so irrational. The only way you should do it is if you absolutely cannot not do it. That's my first advice. And so I've met founders who want to be founders. That's not enough. You have to really, really want to do it and knowing why. And I've made that mistake, so I can say this confidently. My second advice is think incredibly hard about who you partner with, and it matters so much. Think really hard about how you share equity and who makes decisions. I wrote a blog post called The Myth of 50-50 Co-Founders. There's so many challenges, also so many good things that come with equal partnerships. And then I just think that really understanding the market and doing the work. I've said this recently in my public talks. There is no excuse for being uninformed about competitive landscape. So if you think about it, Alfie, 15 years ago, you may not know all your competitors. This day and age, you literally ask ChatGPT, it will tell you everything. You don't even need to Google. It's given to you. So it's inexcusable to be uninformed. So when you think about it, it's like, why are you really doing this? What is driving you to do it? Who are you doing it with? And then is there truly an interesting opportunity so that you don't have your blinders on? Those are kind of my biggest pieces of advice.
Yeah, the competitive landscape one is a big one for me because if I'm speaking with a founder who's looking for capital, and if I'm able, as an outsider to their domain, able to reference a competitor, I've seen doing so, and they don't know what that business is. I mean, I don't know if it's a deal breaker, but it's certainly a red flag. And like I'm building an AI recruiter. I can tell you every single person who has even thought about building an AI recruiter, how their product works, what the prices is, and I'm not saying you need to be competitor focused. Like the best way to really be is be customer focused, then employee focused, and then look at what everyone else is doing. But you need to have an understanding, just so you're not like completely out in the cold. And you're right, it's easier now than it ever has been just to ask an AI model what who else is building in my space, and then you've got a good roadmap to look at.
100%.
This is a quick message to tell you about my company, Alpha AI. We built Lisa, the world's first AI recruiter who finds candidates for you on autopilot. Visit welovealpha.com now to learn how it works, or click the link below in the description. And now, back to the episode.
I guess if you were going back to those earlier days today, Alex, if you were starting another company from scratch but doing it in 2025, what sort of markets would you be betting on? Like what's getting you excited at the moment? I guess this probably ties in quite nicely to the type of businesses that you're investing in, but I guess if it was you, what specifically would you be focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, I would again encourage, as a form of advice, play to your strength. I mentor and speak to so many entrepreneurs, and they ask me like, where should I strike? Play to your strength. Play to your strength. I think for us at 2048 Ventures, we are pre-seed and seed stage fund. We are so excited about what is coming, and I think to pick on a market. Unequivocally, healthcare and longevity is going to go through a fundamental shift. This is a century of biology. We're going to do everything from massively extending human lifespan to curing cancer. So I'm very excited about longevity. We recently published our thesis on pet longevity space. We're looking at a lot of companies in human longevity, but we're getting so many insights about like human body, how it works. And so I'm very, very kind of excited about the future of people living longer and living healthier, more importantly. On the other hand, unequivocal tide wave is coming in drones and robotics. There is no question that the future is more automated. So the near-term inevitabilities around last mile drone deliveries, delivering for healthcare systems, drones as inspectors of power lines, exceptionally interesting spaces. And then more broadly, general robotic powered restaurants, coffee shops. We can't even, we are trying to, but we cannot even imagine the conveniences and amazingness that is coming. I think there's a lot of conversations around AI displacing humans. I'm less focused on that, candidly. I am more focused about what novel modalities and things that don't exist today, not from the perspective of necessarily work disruption, but just like what are the new things that robotics is going to power, and it's very exciting to think about.
Yeah, certainly. Like I'm in SF right now, and I only get Waymos around. Like basically, there is a restriction. Like I can't quite go like Sandhill Road or like Menlo Park or Palo Alto yet. Like it's just outside of the zone that they'll go. So I'm at the point where I will get a Waymo like to the edge of the restriction, and then I'll get an Uber to get there. Just because the like the robots experience is just it's just personally so much better in my opinion, and it's the worst it will ever be. It'll only get better and better. And that's an example of like one robot for a vertical specific task, but you can horizontal that out to like shipping and delivery and logistics and all these other spaces as well. And then when you start to see that in all different aspects of the workforce, from warehouses to robotic drones doing last mile deliveries on everything from healthcare to less important things like your Chipotle order. I know that's the thing that's been testing out for the past couple of weeks here. Yeah, we are entering exciting but also scary times. You make a really great point, Alex, about the job side. Like I try not to think about this about the displacement too much as well, because it's kind of scary in many respects. I do believe in like a Jevons paradox type world where a lot of this is going to create jobs, and new things that we haven't even thought about. But it does feel potentially a little bit different this time, because with all the previous revolutions, like the Industrial Revolution, yeah, we automated what we could do with our hands, but there were still jobs for our brains to build the robots. But now that we're automating our brains, a lot of people fairly are saying like, what is going to be left? What are these jobs going to be that are created? I don't know if you have any thoughts around this. It's something that I'm excited about, but also quite terrified at the same time.
I mean, I'll give you my AI joke. My initials are AI. So,
That's true.
I think, I think there's just so much hysteria, Alfie, and things are never as bad or as good as they're portrayed on, in media. And so I am much more, I've seen headlines like top Google researcher, predicts that we're all going to be on UBI by 2027. I'm like public on Twitter saying this is absolute nonsense. We need to stop. And so for example, let me pick what AI is most successful on right now: code writing. I'm a classically trained software engineer, and I am on the record saying there's going to be reckoning, because all of this code that's written by AI, a lot of it is not going to be high quality. A lot of it is not going to be reusable. A lot of it is going to be spaghetti. Somebody's going to have to debug it. And so we're already, by the way, hearing a lot of enterprises saying, we're all investing in AI, but we don't know what it actually means other than kind of AI coder. And so what I predict is we're going to be, for a very long time, living in what people said we already had, which is, human in the loop. We're actually just now entering that, and human supervisor, what I like to think of is you, me, and everybody else is being exponentiated by AI, not replaced. We're empowered, but I'm not seeing AI displacing people. Like, I know this may be a controversial take. I can hear a lot of very smart people saying that this is it, and I don't believe it. My intuition, and I'm a scientist and a software engineer with, decades of reading science and studying AI systems. These systems do not have emotional and intelligent capacity that humans have. They're probabilistic parrots, and ultimately they're just giant Markov chains. And so we're not that. And so I think that while there's certain incredible efficiencies that are being unlocked, I am not I'm not as sour and as concerned. I'm much more of an optimistic optimist that there's more pie that's going to be created and more things are going to be unlocked.
Love it. That's probably the right attitude to have. So I'm with you. Okay, let me finish up with this. You've invested in 150 plus startups now. What are the common mistakes that you're seeing early stage entrepreneurs make? You must see it all the time, where people are just repeating the same mishaps and it's causing their business to fail. Like most startups don't make it. Like what are the few things that founders could be doing to increase their odds?
I would just say that post Series A, the biggest mistake is burning money. Burning money, recently wrote a blog post. It's the deadliest sin that I know. And burning money is effectively spending on things that don't matter, spending without checking whether you're getting revenue. It happens typically because you're prematurely scaling your sales prior to truly having product market fit, but in general, not watching your burn post Series A. Now,
Mm,
pre-Series A, the mistake is basically you don't have product market fit to raise Series A. So,
yeah, yeah.
common mistakes would be you're not really, so some early stage founders just simply aren't able to focus on the narrowest ICP to unlock some sort of repeatability of sales. Like that's what you see. Founders are just meandering. They're kind of like, oh, sold a little bit here, sold a little bit there. And then obviously the third one is just what Paul Graham said, which is most startups die from suicide. And so these
Yes.
are just like poor decisioning, co-founder fighting, no clear direction, no consensus on kind of like what you should be doing.
Yeah, like your biggest competitors, if you're a startup founder, are not the other people building company, it's you. It's like you are more likely to kill yourself rather than them killing you at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Alex, this has been amazing for people that are starting companies, people that are investing in businesses, people that are kind of in between those worlds. If people have enjoyed this and they like want to learn more about you or the fund, if there's one place that you should direct them to, where should they go right now?
2048.vc, so 2048.vc.
Where does the name come from, 2048?
Well, it's a bit of a secret and a bit of a teaser, so we like to
Okay,
keep it open ended. Yeah.
Cool. That's another motivation for people to reach out with their decks. But amazing, Alex. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Alfie. This is great.
Thank you so much for watching. Hit follow, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Introducing Lisa, the world's first AI-powered recruiter. She's an AI agent who works 24/7, screening candidates on autopilot, conducting interviews in 30 different languages, uploading all the best candidates to your applicant tracking system. Hire 10 times faster at 90% lower cost and significantly improve the candidate experience. Visit welovealpha.com to start your free trial now.